So I'm going to go back to our introduction. So Kieran and Paul talked us through this importance of how businesses and universities can work together for social good. And there were 3 core questions that I took from that. And that was, why does it matter? Can it work? And how can it work? So it matters because of the amazing amount of money that research partnerships contribute to industry. And also that it's crucial for us to work together in order to ensure social, cultural and economic impact. And I really like what Kieran said about, well, can it work? Well, yes, because change happens when we work together, and it's collective change that we need, and collective commitment to innovation that ensures that we can drive change forwards. And how can it work? So that's a lot of what our Q&A went into, which is, well, how can we take evidence-based research and embed it in business for social good and change? And it's this idea of infrastructure collaboration, so having a strategy for engaging with businesses, engaging with communities in order to move things forward. We then had our Q&A, our panel discussion, and I tried to capture what everybody said individually in this kind of star diagram here. So Kieran mentioned, I really like this idea of how can we dispel this idea of the ivory tower and ensure that we're working outside of university spaces and understanding the needs of businesses and what we can add, what our skills can add value with. Also, how do we create an engaged culture? Again, kind of knocking these walls down of the ivory tower. The idea that innovation is at the heart of change. So we want to be innovative, we want to be making new relationships in order to engage people differently. And how can we manage the perception of each other? So how do we manage businesses' perception of universities and vice versa? And how can we have authentic conversations to develop these relationships? Anna, I'll go anti-clockwise. So Anna talked about the importance of different partnerships to change perspectives on ideas, because engineers have one perspective, but businesses have another. The idea that funding unlocks partnerships. So yes, it's important for research and ensuring that you've got the money behind that, but also how can it open doors for you to engage with different kinds of businesses and people. We also looked at the idea of what tech-inspired ethics was about for Anna, and also that I think everybody reflected that impactful and trusting relationships take time. So it's not something you can expect to have one coffee with somebody and then have the biggest research project working together ever. Bryony touched upon the idea of understanding how organizations work is key, because if research doesn't fit into these business needs or has a tangible impact focus, then there's kind of no point. But actually putting that effort in to understand these different layers of engagement ensures that you're again opening doors for different kinds of impact. So having a much greater impact on policy and tapping into the real world. Roger, I really like what Roger talked about, having coffee relationships and that they do work, and that the advantage for businesses of having this academic kind of relationship is you become discussion partners. So not only does your research ensure that it's kind of situated in the real world and real world application, but it also ensures that businesses are doing things at the cutting edge of research and the evidence base that's out there. And then Mark touched upon some kind of successful relationship ideas in that they're based on being able to be, formulated quickly, but not only that researchers can move quickly. And I really resonated with what some people were saying about, academics and academia tend to move more slowly than businesses need. So how can you keep that speed up? Also the importance of listening and really trying to understand each other's kind of point of view and showing how your complementary skill sets can contribute. Also, there was a tension throughout about how do we manage social good and business imperative, and are they the same thing? Can they be coexist happily? And then kind of Paul and Kieran pulled together the summary there of that building mutual relationships is key, but based on trust, respect, and listening and understanding each other's needs, and that we need engagement for impact to happen. It can't happen without that. And that actually very process of developing these relationships and doing the research together is in itself creating change. So the process of doing things is actually creating innovative ways. And then I will stop my share there because I'm finishing the last image that touched upon combating structural racism, business needs versus social good. How do we measure the speed of research impact, and also how do we approach businesses